morning, children. I hope all are enjoying your Corona time holidays. So now welcome back to the online classes. Today's subject is 9th English. In that I am taking prose part, that is first lesson, the enchanted pool. So before that I would like to give a little information about the author. Chakravarti Rajagopal Achari, who is popularly known as Rajaji, was a great patriot, incisive thinker and also author of many books. So he wrote popular books on Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, Ramayana and Mahabharata. So in this lesson, the enchanted pool, so he took one sequence and that is from Mahabharata. So there he displays his inimitable flair for telling the stories on Mahabharata regarding brotherhood in between the younger brother and the elder brother, and applying that moral principles to modern times. So now we are going to see in this lesson the enchanted pool. So here you can see the picture of the persons, two persons are facing one by one. So here you can see this person is Yaksha and this person is Yudhishthira. So before this I would like to give some introduction about the Kauravas and the Pandavas. So do you know about Mahabharata? Yeah, right. Already some information we have since from our previous classes. We know a little bit about Pandavas. So as you can see in the Mahabharata, the war or the clash between the brotherhood. As you can see, the Pandavas who are 5 in number, and whereas Kauravas are 101 in number. So why the clash happened in between them? So that we have discussed, or we came to know about all these Pandavas and Kauravas in our previous classes. Now moving towards the lesson, the enchanted pool. Now children, here you are seeing the picture of Yaksha and Yudhishthira. So before this I would like to discuss among yourselves about the people and their qualities. So here in the below box they have given some of the words which describes the people's qualities. So as like you can discuss among yourself like courage. So in the box they are given some of the qualities of the people. Courage, amicability, gentleness, sympathy, kindness, helpfulness, enthusiasm, wisdom, affection, honesty, selfishness, cruelty. As you can observe the qualities of the people like humility, faithfulness, endurance, perseverance, determination, negligence, callousness, carelessness and arrogance. So these are all some of the qualities of the people. Now in the below table, so whoever people you met in your life, you bifurcate the qualities, the desirable qualities and not so desirable qualities. So you will come across what that person belongs to, whether he belongs to the good natured person or bad natured person. So now in this lesson we are going to come across about the Kauravas and the Pandavas. So here Pandavas who are of good nature, humility, affection, honesty, kindness, sympathy, courage, everything they have got the good qualities. Whereas if you compare their cousin brothers that are Kauravas, they are of they are not having such any desirable qualities which make them to be seen as good in front of others. Now moving on towards the lesson, I'll give the brief explanation about the lesson. As in Mahabharata, the Pandavas lost everything in dice game. Dice game means pachika, like I will say no, barakata, like that. So here you can see the dice game which was played in between the Kauravas and the Pandavas. The fate is towards the Kauravas, as the Pandavas lost everything in the game of dice to the Kauravas, and they have to live according to that dice game condition. These Pandavas, whoever lost the game of dice, so there they have to obey some conditions regarding that game. So here the Kauravas' demand is these Pandavas must live in the forest for 12 years. How many years? 12 years. So as they have lost everything in the dice game, and according to that they had to live 12 years in the forest, sacrificing everything behind. So during this period, during the Vanavasa period of Pandavas, so they constantly move from one place to another. Means if these Kauravas found them in any nearby villages or in any nearby places, so if they catch them, so again from there to next 12 years they have to move into the forest for Vanavasa. Vanavasa means they have to live in the forest only. So as during this period they are moving constantly from one place to another for safety and meet their daily needs. So as everybody we are needing food, clothing and shelter to live. So in that sequence they are moving from one place to another. So one day one incident happens in the 12th year, the last year of the Pandavas. The brothers wandered deep into the forest in pursuit of a deer. So here you can see the picture of sun and the trees, and as on the 12th year these Pandavas will come across one sequence or one incident. So as according to that, in pursuit of a deer, so there these 5 brothers will come across into the forest. What happens there? So listen carefully. One something what do you call on the Maya, like Maya Jala will happen in that forest. What is that Maya Jala? Why it happened, and what is the reason behind that, and what happened in the last? Finally, ಏನಾಯಿತು? So that we are going to see in the lesson. As the sun, you can see in the picture, the sun was hot overhead, and the 5 brothers, as 5 brothers belongs to Pandavas, the Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula and Sahadeva. So as these 5 brothers grew more and more weary and thirsty while they are moving into the forest, and as the elder brother Yudhishthira sank down under a tree, means he felt tired and he needs some rest, so he will sank down under a tree to rest, and said Nakula, his younger brother, brother, climb that tree and see whether there is any pool or river nearby, so that we can quench our thirst. So as according to the order of the elder brother, Nakula climbs up a tree. So Nakula climbed up the tree. Here in the picture you can see Nakula climbed up a tree and looked over around and said, at a little distance I see water plants and cranes. Here you can see the cranes are flying. Means their water existence is there. There must be certainly water will be there. So telling that to his elder brother, Nakula will get down from the tree, and after that Yudhishthira sent him to fetch some water to drink, as he felt so tired and he can't walk more and more. So Yudhishthira sent his younger brother Nakula to bring some water to drink. As Nakula was glad, so whenever we feel thirst, if you see any glass of water or tumbler of water, what we'll do? First we'll put it to make our thirst to be satisfied. So in the same sequence here you can see, when Nakula got near the place and saw that there was really a pool, and he was very thirsty himself, and so thought of quenching his thirst first. And before taking water and inquired for his brothers, as one bottle type he has bought to take some water for his remaining brothers. So first what he thought, let me satisfy my thirst, after that I'll take some water for my brothers. So thinking in that way, what he'll do, he'll try to take that water from the pool. As he's putting his hands into that pool, he heard some disappeared or adrushya voice antivala. So like that he will hear. So first, before taking water in the inquirer for his brothers, but no sooner he dipped his hand into the transparent water, he heard a voice which said, "Stop, Nakula, do not drink this water. So this pool belongs to me. So this pool belongs to me. Oh, son of Madri." So as this Nakula and Sahadeva are the children of Panduraj, so who have got two wives. So elder wife's sons are Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, and younger wife's, second wife's children are Nakula and Sahadeva. So their mother name is Madri. So taking the name of his mother, so here, "Oh son of Madri, answer my questions. I am going to ask some questions and then drink the water." Nakula surprised, but carried away in his intense thirst and heedlessness of the warning, he knelt down and began to drink the water. So he don't want to take more in the concentration towards the words which he heard before quenching the water. You can see in the picture, Nakula was happy when he found out a pool, but as soon as he knelt down to drink that water, so he'll come across some disappeared voice. So not giving much in a concentration towards that voice. So he will take, so as the thirsty person needs desperately water, when Nakula found that pool in front of his face, so he'll kneel down to take that water and he makes his hands together to have that water. So at once he can see, as he neglected the voice of that disappeared voice. So as soon as he drank that water, handful of water, he felt terribly drowsy and he fell down to all appearance as dead. So as time passed, half an hour or 20 minutes or 1 hour, so when Nakula did not return for a long time, so Yudhishthira sent Sahadeva, the another younger brother, to see what the matter was. Nakula and Sahadeva, these two are younger brothers of Yudhishthira. So here you can see Nakula went first and did not return, and after him, here you can see in the picture, Sahadeva will go in search of him what was the matter. So as Sahadeva also ignored the warning, same thing repeated. As Nakula felt, the same thing also faced by Sahadeva. Even this Sahadeva also ignored the warning. He drank the water and at once dropped down. When Sahadeva too failed to return, Yudhishthira sent Arjuna. So Yudhishthira sent Arjuna to see whether the brothers had met with any danger or not. If one person did not return from that place, means maybe he has forgotten the routes. The next one went and he too didn't return, means I think something wrong is going on. So you better go and see what was the matter. So Arjuna went swiftly and he saw his two brothers are lying dead near the pool. So heartbroken with grief, he started to cry in making them to get up. So he wanted to avenge their deaths. So he wanted to take revenge on the deaths of his younger brothers. However, he too was overwhelmed with a monstrous thirst, so which compelled him towards the fatal pool. Same thing as Nakula and Sahadeva faced, but the thing is, when he will come across with his two brothers' bodies falling down like dead persons. So now, up to now, we have come across two paras. So here you can see some questions related to this chapter. So who did Yudhishthira ask to look for water? So first, ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ಯುಧಿಷ್ಠಿರ ನೀರು ಆಯ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ? Yes. So he will ask Nakula to look for water. So you try to write it in your books. So according to as I am making the lesson as a story. So keep concentration towards the story and try to answer the questions asked by me. Now second question. Why do you think Nakula was happy when he got to the place? So why Nakula will feel happy when he got near the place or near the pool? So whenever we feel thirsty, what we'll do? Yes, we will like to have that water so that we can satisfy our thirst. Now here in this question what they have asked, why do you think Nakula was happy when he got to the place? So here you can find that he found plenty of water in front of him. Now here, can you give a word for transparent? Can you give a word for transparent which means almost the same? Transparent means, here you can see, teluvagirodu, which we can see clean and clear. So can you give a word for a transparent which is same to this word? So in the next class I'll ask, you have to find out from the textbook. And here now the first question is, why do you think Nakula did not obey the voice? Why Nakula did not obey the voice? So why means he is terribly having the thirst. First he want to satisfy his thirst and after that only he want to take next further actions towards his activities. Now here what they have asked, why do you think Nakula did not obey the voice? The main thing is he wants to satisfy his thirst. Now moving towards the fifth question, what happened to Nakula when he drank the water? Whether he satisfied his thirst? No. As soon as he drank the water, he felt drowsy and fell down like a dead person. Why? Something is there near that pool. What is that? We'll discuss in the next paras. So regarding that two previous two paras, I am asking some questions regarding that two paras. Now here, moving to our sixth question. Why did Yudhishthira send Sahadeva to see what the matter was? So as time went on, Nakula did not return and he'll say Sahadeva to see what the matter. So after so long time happened, Nakula did not return to us. So you go and see what the matter was. And why did Sahadeva meet the same fate as Nakula? Why means he is also feeling thirsty and he too want to satisfy his thirst. So he too met the same thing how Nakula met. Now moving towards the next conversation between the brothers and what happened. Again here you can see why Nakula fell down, why Sahadeva fell down, and why Arjuna fell down. And as you can see, the same thing, here the voice heard by even by Arjuna also. So before you drink the water of this pool, so you have to question, you have to answer the questions asked by me. Why means this pool belongs to me. This pool is mine. So here you have to answer the questions asked by me. Otherwise, the same thing will happen how to your brothers happened. So by hearing this, Arjuna became very angry and he cried, "Who are you? Come and stand up to me and I will kill you." As he is the only one courageous man in that at that time. So ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಬಿಲ್ವಕಾರ ಯಾರಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಜುನನೇ. So here you can see when he said, yes, you are going to face the same thing how your brothers felt. So by hearing this, do you think I am ನನ್ನ ಏನು ಕೈಲಾಗಲ್ಲ, ನನಗೇನು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ my steps back, I want to take revenge. Whoever you are, just come in front of me and I am going to kill you. He shot sharp arrows in the direction of the voice. So the invisible voice being laughed in scorn and said. So here you can see when he started to make up his arrows. So in which direction he is going to shoot? So whether this Arjuna is going to see any face nearby him? No, not at all. This is a invisible voice which he is hearing. So by seeing his activity, as he is putting his arrows into that bow and trying to kill that person, that invisible person, here that person will laugh and he will say, "Your arrows can't touch me." Arjuna wanted to destroy this unseen foe, but first he had to quench his terrible thirst. The same thing, whatever activities he wants to do, before that he wants to feel, he is feeling thirsty and he wants to satisfy his thirst. So he too drank the water and also fell down dead. After anxious wait, Yudhishthira turned to Bhima. So as you can see, three brothers came in search of water. Luckily they have found the water, but what happened there? So here you can see the three of the brothers were lying down almost dead. And who left there? Only Yudhishthira and Bhima left. So as Yudhishthira, the elder brother, he sent Bhima. After anxious wait, when Yudhishthira felt that Arjuna also didn't return, so he sent Bhima, the healthy and the tall, brave man, Bhima, to search his brothers. So he said to his brother, "Dear brother, even Arjuna, the great hero, hasn't returned. So something terrible must have happened to our brothers. Please find them quickly and come back to me so that I can relax what happened to them." So Bhima hurried away without another word. Like Arjuna, Bhima also did the same thing and he neglected the warning, drank the water and he too fell down and as his three brothers. So as four of his brothers didn't return and finally left is Yudhishthira, what he'll do? So here you can see in the picture, Yudhishthira will go to find out what happened there. So by seeing there, four of his brothers lying like dead persons, puzzled and worried, what happened to my brothers? And he will go in the direction in search of his brothers. When he came near the pool and he saw four brothers lying on the ground, to all appearance dead. So he was shocked. What happened to my all courageous, brave, intelligent and talented brothers? Why they are falling down like that? So, lying on the ground, to all appearance dead, he was shocked and he got into the pool to quench his thirst. The same thing what four brothers have did, the same thing was done by Yudhishthira also. So, as he got into the pool to quench his thirst, at once the voice without form warned him, "Your brothers died because they did not heed my words." So, your brothers, can't you see, your four brave, courageous and intelligent brothers are lying down. Why? Means they didn't give ear to my words. The same thing you are doing. So, do not follow them. Answer my questions and first and then quench your thirst. This pool is mine. If you want to take one drop of water also, you have to give the answers to my questions. So, as Yudhishthira, as you can see, this person, Yudhishthira knew that this could not none other than the words of a Yaksha. Guessed and what happened to his brothers. So, he saw a possible way of redeeming the situation. So, he wanted to make adjustment of that situation, as he came to know that this pool was guarded by the Yakshas. And he saw a possible way. Yes, if he asks the questions, if I give the answers, possibly my brothers will get their lives back. He said to the boldness voice, "Please ask your questions." So, whatever questions you want to ask, you can ask. The voice put questions rapidly, one after another. So, here regarding these two paras, so here you can see some questions. So, as Nakula went, Sahadeva went near the pool, Arjuna, Bhima, and finally who will go? Yudhishthira will go. So, what did Arjuna see when he got to the pool? What happens? What Arjuna will see? Whether that Nakula and Sahadeva are playing near the pool? No, they were falling dead near the pool. So, here what did Arjuna see when he got to the pool? So, he will see his two brothers who are lying down as the dead persons. So, moving towards the second question, why do you think the voice did not allow Arjuna to drink water? So, why that invisible voice is not allowing Arjuna, as he is one of the number one archery man in the Hastinapura. So, seeing at his courage, no one will try to stand in front of him. So, why do you think the voice did not allow Arjuna to drink water? So, here as the god of that pool, he needs his questions to be answered. So, as even this Arjuna also will neglect the voice of that person, and same thing happens to his, as Nakula and Sahadeva, the same thing will happen in case of Arjuna also. So, moving towards the third question, why did the invisible being laugh at Arjuna? So, why that invisible voice laugh loudly? Means without seeing the person in front of him, Arjuna started to make a direction towards that, to shoot and kill that invisible voice. If you see any person standing in front of you, and you can make directions to kill him. So, here without seeing the direction where that voice is coming, so he started to make his direction to shoot him. So, by seeing that activity, so this invisible voice will laugh. So, moving towards the fourth one, what was the warning of the Yaksha to Yudhishthira? So, as finally 4 brothers came and faced the same incident. So, Yudhishthira, finally Yudhishthira will come near the pool, and what he will say, what was the warning of the Yaksha to this Yudhishthira? So, if you answer the questions, you will get the water to drink, otherwise you have to face what your 4 brothers faced. So, do you observe any difference between Arjuna and Yudhishthira in their response to the invisible voice? So, can you find? So, here Arjuna, without taking further next action. So he don't want to think about what is going to happen next. So he started to make his direction so that he can kill that invisible voice. But Arjuna, Yudhishthira is not like that. But he thought, as he came to know that this voice is nothing but the voice of the Yaksha. So here the sequence is Yudhishthira is thinking towards mind, and whereas Arjuna, he depended on his body stamina and he started to shoot that person. And here finally, why do you think all the brothers fell unconscious when they drank the water? So simple, according to the lesson, according to the sequence, according to the situation. They didn't give their attention towards the words which were heard by that Yaksha. So they don't know what is going to happen next. So they want to live for that present time, and they are neglecting their activity, further activity. So they started to make their thirst to be satisfied. So as you can see, regarding this, one by one, the conversation in between Yaksha and the Yudhishthira. And as you can see, the one by one, so he is not at all giving any time to think over. So here, one by one, the questions were asked by that invisible voice, and the correct answers were given by Yudhishthira also. So what are the questions? So here you can see the invisible voice asked, what makes sun shine every day? So can you see here, what makes sun shine every day? This was the question of the Yaksha to Yudhishthira. So this question was asked by Yaksha. So for this question, what Yudhishthira will reply? Yudhishthira replied, the power of God. What makes sun shine every day? So for that question, Yudhishthira replied, the power of God. So do you think it is the correct answer? Yes, absolutely. This question's answer is the power of God. So without the power of God, nothing is going to happen in our life. So next question, what rescues man in danger? So here, this question was asked by the Yaksha. What rescues man in danger? So for this question, can you say, Yudhishthira quickly answered, courage. So if the person or the man is having courage, he can rescue any danger. So if that man is not having courage, so in that fear only, whether I am going to do, whether I am going to live. As you can see nowadays, corona time is going on. So the person who got affected by the corona, if he is having the courage, yes, I am going to make myself to live further next days. If he is having the courage, ಧೈರ್ಯ ಐತಂದ್ರೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಏನಾದರೂ ಸಾಧಿಸ್ಬೋದು. ಅದು ಧೈರ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಅವನು ಏನು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. So here, what rescues man in danger? So for that question, Yudhishthira quickly answered, courage. If the man is having the courage, he is going to rescue his life from danger. So next question is, what is more nobly sustaining than the earth? So here the next question is, what is more nobly sustaining than the earth? So here for this answer, here you can see Yudhishthira said, the mother who brings up the children. So here in the question itself, what is more nobly sustaining than the earth? So ನಾವು ಎಷ್ಟು ನೋವು ಕೊಟ್ಟರು, ನಾವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಸತಾಯಿಸಿದ್ರು, ನಾವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಜಾರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಸೊ ಭೂಮಿಗಿಂತ ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರವನ್ನು ತಾಳ್ಮೆಯಿಂದ ತಡೆಯೋ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಯಾರಿಗಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, so for this what Yudhishthira will say, the mother, whatever you do, whether you are a good fellow or bad fellow, so whatever the bad things you do, So for all that, the mother is going to make your faults to be hidden back, and she will try to keep up all your bad efforts back and making you to become a good citizen. So here, who is more nobly sustaining than the earth means here Yudhishthira says the mother who brings up the children. So these are all the fantastic and some ethical values you can find. If you go through these questions one after one, so deeply if you go into the matter or the conversation between these two persons, you will get one after one needy information in this conversation. So next question is, what is faster than wind? So for this, suddenly or if I know the answer, if the teacher is asking any questions, the children knows the answers means suddenly they'll raise their hands and they'll say. So for this question, he'll say mind. So why mind means here the wind needs some time to travel from one place to another. Is it not? So here the wind needs some time to move from one direction to another direction. But the mind, so you are staying here, and if you close your mind, close your eyes and try to make up your mind. So you want to sit beside Prabhas, or you want to meet Puneeth Rajkumar. So your mind will go like faster than wind. What is the question asked by Yaksha here? What is faster than wind? So for that question, what Yudhishthira will give the answer? Mind. So what is faster than the wind means? Mind is the faster than the wind. So here, moving towards the next conversation, what befriends a traveler? What befriends a traveler? So for that answer, here, learning. So here, if you start your journey without learning anything, you are not going to get into your destiny or into your goal. So to reach your goal, you have to travel through that direction. So here, the best friend or be friends is the traveler is learning. When you learn how to make your life, how to make your goal, and how to make your advantage, or how to make your life, here you need to learn some ethics, some moral values, some things which are taken towards the traveler route. Now moving towards the next conversation, who is the friend? One who stays at home. So this was the question asked by Yaksha. So for this conversation, what the answer given by Yudhishthira is? The wife. So who stays at home along with his husband, giving his companion towards sorrows and happiness, taking her part in every movement of his husband's. So here, who is the friend of one who stays at home is the wife. Nowadays, maybe at that time, the wives are giving good companion or good cooperation or good mutual understanding. But nowadays, we cannot see. So next, moving to the next conversation. So here, you can see in the picture, the conversation in between the invisible voice and Yudhishthira. So as this conversation is moving on, till now what questions I have asked, still some more are there. So this conversation was going on between Yudhishthira and the invisible voice near the pool. So here, moving towards the next question. So moving towards next conversation, who accompanies a man in death? Who accompanies a man in death? So in every religion you can see, after the death of a person, no one is going to accompany him, whether his wife, his children, his parents, anybody is going to, feel desperate to go along with the dead body. No one will accompany a man in death. So deeply if you go towards that. So here this question was asked by Yaksha. So who accompanies a man in death? So for this Yudhishthira will say Dharma. If that person is a man of honesty, sympathy, kindness, and they are all following his Dharma, so then that person's dead body or the soul goes along with Dharma. So here this Dharma will alone accompanies the soul in its solitary journey after death. So nowadays we can see the person who got affected by corona, so for that person no one is going to touch his body to any religion if you take. So they are not supposed to do all that rituals which are going to be done after the death of a person. So you can see some of will be talking to one another. Em karmal chesinno veedu, em karma madidno ivnu, last ge inta savu sat bitta antare. So here if that person is following all the dharma rituals and dharma rules in his life, for such persons God will be always surrounded by his spiritual life. So here what we can see, the question asked by the Yaksha, who accompanies a man in death? So for that Yudhishthira will reply Dharma, that alone accompanies the soul in its solitary journey. So next, moving to the next question, which is the biggest vessel? So which is the biggest vessel in that everything is filled? After long 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. For example, if you take any plastic carry bag or any cupboard, so in that only limited things we can store. So but here towards the one thing here, Yaksha started to ask him which is the biggest vessel. So for this what Yudhishthira will reply? The earth, which contains all within itself, is the greatest vessel. Here you can see all bad people, good people, dead people, trees, birds, everything. So here the earth is containing all in itself. So here as you can see, which is the biggest vessel asked by Yaksha. So the earth which contains all within itself, the answer was given by Yudhishthira. Now moving towards, what is happiness? What is happiness? When you will feel happy? When father gives his mobile to you play, or mommy says not to do any work, household works, daily you can play with the mobiles or you can go with your friends. So if the parents say like that, you will feel happy? No. So happiness is the result of good conduct. If the person wants to be the real happy, if he wants to get a real happiness, so here the person should have good conduct. So now here the question asked by Yaksha was, what is happiness? For that what Yudhishthira will give the answer? Happiness is the result of good conduct. Now moving towards next question, what is that? What is that? A bonding which man becomes loved by all. For this, what is the bonding which man becomes loved by all? For this, pride is the thing for bonding that man will be loved by all. So moving towards the next question, what is the loss which brings joy, not sorrow? What is the loss which brings joy, not the sorrow? So here when you will get everything in your hand and within seconds if it is lost, if it is lost, what is going to happen? Suddenly you will get the anger. So here the question asked by Yaksha was, what is the loss which brings joy and not sorrow? So for this answer, Yudhishthira will answer, anger. Giving it up, we will no longer be subjected to sorrow. So if you leave off that anger attitude, anger nature, so you are going to get all happiness, you are not going to taste the sorrows. So moving that, what is that? By giving up which man becomes wealthy. What is that thing? By giving up that things, man will become healthy. So for that, what Yudhishthira will say? Desire. As everybody is having the desire, even I am having the desire to rule the country, to make myself as an one. So desire andre korike alla? Ichche. Okay.
Good desires are fine, not bad.
So I'll repeat once again. What is that? By giving up which the man will become wealthy. So this was the question asked by Yaksha. So for this, Yudhishthira will reply, desire. Means ichche. So if you are having good desires, definitely you'll have wealthy. Means not only having gold, silver and all these things, that things at home, but the internal desire. Yes, I'm not betraying anyone, I'm not cheating anyone, I'm not making fool of any others. So if you are having good desires, so your soul will be wealthy with all these things. So getting rid of it, man becomes wealthy. So when man makes his desires towards good things, so everything will go softly, and in your life you are going to get more and more wealthy. That is happiness, having good natured friends, good natured family. So all this makes you the wealthy person. So moving towards the next question, what makes one a real Brahman? Is it birth, good conduct or learning? Answer decisively. So here at that time, this was a critical question asked by him. What makes one a real Brahman? Means nowadays we can see, at that time we have seen all the Vedas, Upanishads and all this mythological mantras will be chanted by only the Brahmins. So on what consequence we are going to say that he is a real Brahman? Whether it is birth, is dressing, or is outer behavior, or good conduct, or learning. So learning of all that Upanishads, Vedas and all. So here for that question, Yudhishthira will answer, birth and learning do not make one a Brahman. Good conduct alone does. However, learned a person may be, but he will not be a Brahman if he is a slave to bad habits. What is the greatest wonder in the world? So this was the question asked by Yaksha. What is the greatest wonder in the world? So for this, what Yudhishthira will give the answer? Every day, men see creatures depart to Emmaus abode. So here you can see day by day, many are dying. Not only the humans, you can see the creatures like birds, animals. Means when their time ends, they are moving towards Emmaus place. And yet, those who remain, means suddenly some will come across, somebody will met the accident, or some murders, everything like all these criminal activities are going on. So even though those who remain, they seek to live forever. So those who left without meeting all these accidents or any criminal activities, so what they feel, yeah, I want to live forever for 100 years or 200 years or 300 years. So this verily is the greatest wonder. Yes, everybody knows, you know, I know, everybody knows. When time ends, we have to pack up everything, whatever we have taken from this earth, we have to leave it here only. Nothing, when we born, we didn't bought anything in our hands. When we die also, we have to go bare hands. So nothing, we are not going to take whatever you have constructed a huge building, you have taken 20 tolas, 30 tolas of gold, nothing is going to come with you. Even though, but we'll die to survive ourselves, as that we are going to live forever. So here, what is the greatest wonder in the world is knowing that we have to leave this world. Even though we are making ourselves to be comfortable towards the life needy things. As seeing this, it is one of the greatest wonder which we are facing day by day by the humans. They know they have to die. After a certain lifespan, they will die. But they don't want to make up their minds. ಯಾವಾಗ ಸಾವು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅವಾಗ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಆಯ್ತು ಬಿಡು ಅನ್ನೋ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. But what they feel is as they are going to live forever. Now thus the Yaksha posed many questions and Yudhishthira answered them all one by one. So as you can see, the conversation was going on in between Yudhishthira and the invisible voice. So one after one, Yaksha is asking the questions and Yudhishthira is answering the answers, correct answers one by one. So thus the Yaksha posed many questions and Yudhishthira answered them all. So in the end, here you can see, Yaksha asked, O king. So as he was satisfied by the answers given by Yudhishthira. So after that he will ask Yudhishthira, O king, one of your dead brothers can now be revived, means they can get back their lives. So as the condition of that Yaksha was, as you can get one of your brother will get back his life. Whom do you want to revive? He shall ask to come back to life, whether Nakula, Sahadeva, Arjunana, Bhimana. So Yudhishthira thought of a moment and then he replied, may the cloud complexioned, lotus-eyed, broad-chested and long-armed Nakula. So here he is going to explain the physical appearance of Nakula. Cloud complexion, lotus-eyed, broad-chested and long-armed Nakula lying like a fallen ebony tree arise. So thus Yaksha was pleased at this and asked Yudhishthira, why did you choose Nakula in performing to Bhima, who was... so why did you choose Nakula only, not Bhima or Arjuna? So if you see, Bhima, who was having the strength of 16,000 elephants, means how Bhima has got 16,000 elephants, there was a great story. So why that strength was given to Bhima, all these are small interesting stories are there in Mahabharata. So when school reopens, no, in our school library we'll get that stories book and one by one I'll tell you. So here Yaksha will ask Yudhishthira, why not Bhima, who has got 16,000 elephant strength? I have heard that Bhima is most dear to you. So he is your pet brother. And why not Arjuna, whose powers in arms in your protection? Tell me why. Why did you select Nakula to get back his life? Tell me why you have chose Nakula rather than either of these two. So for that, Yudhishthira replied, O Yaksha, Kunti and Madri were the two wives of my father. I am a son of Kunti. I am surviving. So I, the son of Kunti, I am surviving and I am living. And so she is not completely bereaved. So to be fair, I ask that Madri's son Nakula to be revived. The Yaksha was pleased with Yudhishthira's impartiality and granted that all his brothers would come back to life. So here he is not showed any partiality, as Arjuna and Bhima were his own brothers. And here Nakula and Sahadeva are second wife's children. ಅವ್ರು ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ವಂತ ತಮ್ಮಂದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಉಳಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಆಲೋಚನೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಾರ್ದೆ. So he says Nakula to get back his life. So it was Yama. So here in the picture you can see it was Yama, the lord of death, who had taken the form of deer and the Yaksha, so that he might see his sons Yudhishthira. So actually, if you see in the picture, the birth of each and every person in Mahabharata, they have got their preference. Means here Yudhishthira, he is the son of Yama. So it was Yama who is the lord of death, who has taken in the form of a deer and the Yaksha, so that he might see his son Yudhishthira and test him whether he is going to make partiality or not. So if you see the appearance of Yama, so here this person is not also having any partiality, whether he is my sister's son or elder brother's son or younger brother's son, without taking anybody's partiality. He is taking everybody's life when lifespan completes. So here Yama said towards the behavior of his son, he embraced Yudhishthira and blessed him. Yama said only a few days remain to complete the stipulated period of your exile in the forest. The 13th year you will also pass by. None of your enemies will be able to discover you. You will be successfully fulfill your undertaking. And saying this, he disappeared. So here you can see the conversation between Yaksha and Yudhishthira. Yes, after completing the conversation, finally Yama, so this the father of Yudhishthira, he will bless his son and he will say, none of your enemies will be able to discover you and you will successfully fulfill your undertaking. And saying this, he disappears from that place. So as this is the wonderful story in between the Kauravas and the Pandavas. So as you can see, the Pandavas are 5 in number and Kauravas are 101 in number. So why this Kurukshetra Mahabharata happened, and in the next classes we are going to discuss one by one if you get the leisure periods, or if you get story time, in that I am going to reveal each and every part of Mahabharata. Till then, take care. Bye bye.